Bienvenue. Paul Catalina's top 5. That's French, people. French. Huh? Classy. That's what this is. This is classy. You know what else is classy? TexasBeefHouse.com. Use our promo code SICK'EM10 for 10% off of your first order. This is Paul Catalina's top 5 best QB rooms in the country. Number 5. So you test these things. You test them. And then, there we go. They finally work. Number 5, Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, Will Howard. Jackson Dart, tons of starts under his belt, and Ole Miss is going for it this year. With what they've put around him, not only on offense, but on the defensive side of the ball, should be really good. Walker Howard, transferred in from LSU, one of the most highly recruited quarterbacks in the country when he did. He's been sitting there marinating for the last couple years, so when Jackson Dart is gone, Walker Howard should be ready to step in and roll right along at Ole Miss. They should not have a problem if they have an injury to Jackson Dart, based on the fact that Walker Howard should know the offense backwards and forwards at this point. Although we have not seen much of Walker Howard, so he's still a bit of a wild card. But if I had to bet on a quarterback room in the SEC, this would certainly be one of them, given the fact that Walker Howard has been in the same place for a couple years now and should know Lane Kiffin's system really well, plus everything that's around him. If Jackson Dart does have an injury and miss some time, they should be good to go. Number 4. I love clicking things 5 times before it happens. It's like replacing an AirTag battery. Number 4, Ohio State, Will Howard, Devin Brown, Julian Sain, and Aaron Nolan. I know this is 4, and there's no way that 3 of these guys are all going to be there for more than a year together. Will Howard's just there for a year and should provide some valuable experience and athleticism when it comes to leading that Ohio State offense, which is loaded on the front. It is loaded at wide receiver. It is loaded at running back. They should be great, and they returned most of their defense as well and brought in Caleb Downs. But when it comes to quarterbacking, Devin Brown had a really good spring and is going to try to make everybody in the country know that he's ready to be a starting quarterback, if not at Ohio State somewhere. And then it's going to come down eventually to Julian Sain, the number 1 quarterback in the country, and Aaron Nolan, a guy that Ohio State was thrilled to get when they got him anyway. And now they have both those guys who will compete it out down the line for who's going to be the starter of the future. And Julian Sain could even see time this year, according to reports of how good he was when he has been there. Number 3. Number 3. Oh, this is going to be a thing today. It's just going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. I'm glad I'm going on vacation at the end of the week. Glad I'm going on vacation. Oregon. It's got Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore. Dylan Gabriel in his 6th year, we've seen him win games at UCF. We've seen him win games at Oklahoma. And now he steps into the best situation he's ever been in, roster-wise, at Oklahoma, and should lead them to a bunch of wins this year, his last season of eligibility. Dante Moore, one of the top quarterbacks in the country, recruited to UCLA just a year ago. He transferred. He's going to sit and learn, but he has starting experience and showed flashes of the athleticism that made everybody believe that he was a star quarterback of the future. And now he's with Will Stein at Oregon and learning from Dylan Gabriel, who has already brought along a couple of younger quarterbacks in his day. Dylan Gabriel, Dante Moore, number 3 situation, the Oregon Ducks. If you're seeing a pattern here, these are all teams that should be pretty damn good in 2024. Number 2. There we go. I'm about to break this damn thing. Number 2, UGA. They've got Carson Beck, they've got Jaden Rashada, and they've got Gunnar Stockton. Jaden Rashada played a little bit last year for Arizona State, much like Dante Moore, showed flashes of the guy everybody thinks he could be, and of course is the most interesting legal case in all of college football right now. And I'm including everything realignment and house. That one, to me, is the most interesting court case ever. Carson Beck might be the first quarterback off the board in the 2025 draft. We know what he can do. And Gunnar Stockton is the hotshot freshman that they have coming in. So hotshot, in fact, that guys like Brock Vandegrift went to Kentucky. They've had guys leave because Gunnar Stockton's coming in. Gunnar Stockton came in right after Dylan Raiola changed his commitment from Georgia to Nebraska. And Georgia didn't seem all that bothered about all this. course, Georgia shouldn't be bothered about most things because they're a gosh darn juggernaut, and everything seems to work out for them. Like, oh, what are we going to do when Carson Beck leaves? Oh, I don't know. Just have a battle between Jaden Rashada and Gunnar Stockton to see who's your next quarterback? You know, first world problems in Athens, Georgia. That's what they've got. And number 1, Paxton, I dedicate this to you. And this is taking a long time. Okay, there we go. Oh, nope. Look, it even went past something to something I didn't even want on there. There we go. Leave it all in, guys. We'll do it live. Texas. Again, this is for you, Paxton. This is how much I love you, Paxton, and appreciate your viewing. It's that I put Texas number 1 on the list, and not a bad one. This is a good list. Texas, number 1 on a list. I will say, though, you who almost got in this list that I think deserves to be on it, but none of their guys have made it through a season healthy yet, is Texas A&M. Connor Wigman, Jalen Henderson, Markel Reed all played well for A&M in stretches last year, in Jimbo Fisher's last year. And I think under Colin Klein, they're all going to get better. And it'll be interesting to see what happens down the line there at A&M. But they have some quarterback depth there as well. But back to Texas. I'm not even getting into who's behind Quinn Ewers, probable first-round pick, and Arch Manning of the football Mannings. This is a great quarterback situation that they have in Texas. So much so that a guy like Malik Murphy, who was highly recruited, transferred off to Duke, and he's going to start there this year. And we'll see how that goes for Malik Murphy. But Quinn Ewers keeps getting better and showed last year he could throw them to wins, although not all the time. But they've got enough weapons around him where he'll throw them to a lot of wins this year. They should have a great first year in the SEC. And if anything happens to him, Arch Manning seems like he's pretty close to ready to go from what we've seen from spring football and the way that he's picked up that offense and can step in. And with the players he's going to have around him like Cedric Baxter and Isaiah Bond and, you know, Thor. I mean, they're just so good on Texas this year. He should be able to step in very well. And again, the future is bright for the Longhorns at quarterback no matter what because of Arch Manning and a guy they really don't have to worry about losing. I mean, because if he wanted to leave, he would probably left already and be starting somewhere else. You know, he might have been the only guy with the cachet to shove Jackson Dart right out the door at Ole Miss because he is Arch Manning of the Ole Miss Mannings. So the football Mannings, and I guess tangentially the Tennessee Mannings and planet Earth's Mannings. But Arch Manning should be ready to go if anything happens to Quinn Ewers. And we saw how good Quinn Ewers was last year. They only lost 1 game in the regular season. They lost a very tough playoff game to a very good Washington team. So I would not sell the Texas quarterback room. I'm buying big on the Horns and their quarterbacks. And now I have to go take a shower because I said too many nice things in a row about the University of Texas. Austin is smelly. There. That's what makes me feel a little bit better. Too many hippies. Okay? That's that. I can't just go through and compliment them for this whole time. It's not my personality. You know it's not me. But they do have a very good quarterback room and a very good team overall. That's going to do it for the top 5. Craig and I wrap it up right after this.